Hey guys, this is Jonathan Barbero with Prime Homes. We're here at our most recent flip. We're about to be starting this project this week. We already had the foundation bid. And right now, the reason I want to do this video is because we're taking the time that not many people take, which is why they end up losing a lot of money when they start a project, is taking the time to create a scope of work. A lot of people, they walk the house for the first time with their contractor, and they let the contractor tell them what it is that needs to get done, right? So you're thinking you have an investor-friendly contractor, which I made a video about before, and some people got a little offended that I said there's no such thing as an investor-friendly contractor. What I'm trying to say is that you have contractors that know how to work with investors and know how to give good prices and everything, but not every house requires investor-grade material. If you're renovating a house that's $120,000 ARV, you're not gonna put the same kind of trimming that you are on a house that's perhaps $250, $300 plus ARV. So a lot of contractors are used to working at certain stages of homes. You have contractors that are really good at working at 200 plus homes. You have contractors that are really good at working at 150 and under. So you don't want to put a 4-inch beautiful pine molding on a $150,000 house. You're not going to get the value back for that. You understand? And you're spending double the material. And then you got to paint the molding and all that. Unless you're going to stain it or do something nice with it, you're just wasting the money for that. So you need to know what moldings you want on the house, what moldings fit the house, what kind of flooring, what quality of the flooring, where are you going to put laminate, where you're going to put tile, what kind of tile, shop around. We just recently finished a rehab that I've also posted some videos on, that we just shopped around, and at Floors and Decor we found an amazing tile for 80 cents a square foot. And it was, you know, we bought a bunch of boxes of that one, and then we shopped around, we found some great flooring at a good price. And the contractors were bidding us, it was pretty much a total of $1 a square foot more for both. And that's just because that's what they were finding from the suppliers they like dealing with. So do the scope of work. Figure out exactly what kind of materials, where are the best places to find them, and tell them where to buy them. So this way you can minimize risk, you can minimize overspending on stuff. This way you can actually go through in a very detailed way and see like light fixtures. One of the biggest things that people overlook, and I always tell them to replace it because it's so cheap to do, is the wall outlets. Just once you're renovating a whole house, go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's, and buy all new casings. They're cheap. They're so cheap, and they come brand new, white, beautiful casing, and it makes everything pop. You know, and those are things that not many people tell you about. So definitely put the time to get the scope of work together yourself. Make sure you understand your values, what kind of moldings, what kind of flooring, what kind of cabinets you want to put in, what kind of countertops you want to put in. Are you doing Formica? Are you doing granite? Appliances, light fixtures. There's a lot of times that what we do when we have, you know, decent light fixtures. On the video you may not see it, but it's actually in really good conditions. It just needs to be clean. You get all these light fixtures and you just move them to the bedrooms, and then just buy 3 new light fixtures for the family room, dining room, and living room. So you're not buying new light fixtures for every room of the house. You know, you can move some things around and recycle some of the stuff because it's a lot better quality. So always take the time. Don't solely rely on your contractor if you don't know your contractor. If this is a guy that you've been working with, done ton of projects, then you already know this. You're not hearing anything new. But if this is your first time doing a renovation and you are just starting to work with this contractor, you guys just met and everything, test it out. Test them out. They may be really nice people, but they may be contractors that are used to dealing in $200,000 plus homes. So when they bid you for a laminate, and they're bidding you for, or hardwood floors, and they're bidding you at $250 a square foot, you know, and you tell them, oh, I don't want to spend that much because this is a $150,000 house, they get upset, or they'll be like, well, I don't like installing cheap stuff. You know, and it's not cheap, it's just that you don't need that fancy of a floor for that price of a house. So take the time, go around, start looking, speak to the same suppliers. In San Antonio, we have some good suppliers we like dealing with, that we go and they tell us what's new, what's coming in, what's being discounted. You know, build rapport with them, so then they tell you about all the new stuff that's coming in, and that way you go telling your builders, your contractors, I want these doors, I want this paint scheme, I want this paint color from this supplier, so you know your numbers. And that makes it a lot easier when you're moving forward and you're doing more houses. Like what we do at Prime, we do a very similar style of houses. So we like to stick between a certain price point, between a certain area of town. So the majority of the time when we get a house, we're doing the same scope of work pretty much on every single one of our houses. So because we know our materials, we know our costs, we know our labor, we can go into a house and bid it ourselves very quickly. So when we're submitting offers and we're budgeting, we can do all of that very quickly. So we're not having to go back and forth with the contractor and back and forth with the foundation guy. We can bid all that out ourselves and be very close to what the actual price is. So that's my tip for now. Just create a good detailed scope of work, find out your prices, make sure you understand what your expenses are, what your labor costs are, do a very detailed itemized list so you can see what they're charging you step by step for every single piece, what they're charging you for labor, what they're charging you for material. And then what I tell my contractors, you know, it's not, I don't want to bring down your labor costs, I want you to make your money. But if I can, I do want to bring down the material cost. So then that way I can save more money. So just keep that in mind. Do a detailed scope of work. Don't rely on the contractor unless you're really, really good friends with them, that you've built rapport, and that you guys have done a lot of work. That's the biggest thing. You know, that you guys have worked together and you've made money. So unless that's happened, do it yourself, figure it out, run your numbers, get familiarized with this. Don't get into flipping houses right away and rely heavily on a contractor, because it's very easy to go from $20,000 to $40,000 and you didn't know where that extra money went. You understand? So keep a detailed log, keep a detailed log of all your expenses, all your materials and everything. That way when you move on to next projects, it gets easier, faster, and a lot cheaper. All right, just make sure to subscribe and just keep a lookout on our Instagram and Facebook for updates that we keep doing.